Hey folks! Welcome back to the channel with another amazing video. Russia and the United States are undoubtedly two of the world's superpowers, although things have changed since 1991. Through their strong economies and resources, both nations have ruled the world. If we could connect these two great powers via superhighway, what would the world be like? We're going to talk about Russia's insane mega project for a superhighway to America that connects the two continents. If you wanted to know more about it, keep watching. I guarantee this is going to be one of my most interesting videos yet. So let's get started right away. Russian Railways Chairman Vladimir Yakunin presented a comprehensive proposal at a Russian Academy of Science conference for an incredibly challenging infrastructure megaproject. Yakunin proposed constructing the Trans-Eurasian Belt Development TEPR, a high-speed railway that would connect Siberia to the Bering Strait and end with the opening of an underwater tunnel. Anchorage, Alaska, and Moscow could be connected by a superhighway. This mega project would not happen overnight, right? In order to accomplish it, 12,500 miles of roads and railways would have to be constructed, starting at the Russian border. Furthermore, it requires traveling 520 miles from Nome, Alaska's icy shores, to Fairbanks, the northernmost part of the Alaskan Highway. Also, there is this massive 55-mile Bering Strait tunnel, which is estimated to cost around $50 billion. It has been aspirational to build a bridge across the Bering Strait since the 19th century. As early as 1846, the governor of the Colorado Territory, William Gilpin, funded research on building a railroad to the northern Alaskan coasts. Years after he was forced from office, Gilpin continued to promote ideas for the Cosmopolitan Railway, which would connect all continents primarily across the Bering Strait. The development of Atlantic cables put an end to a Russian-American firm's idea of a transcontinental telecommunications line in the 1860s. A railroad bridge between Alaska and Siberia was the subject of the college thesis of the architect of the Golden Gate Bridge after 30 years. Tsar Nicholas II approved the project to build a bridge over the Bering Strait in 1906, but World War I forced it to be scrapped. Here's something interesting for you to notice. Some people, especially historian and journalist William Engdahl, believed that British economic interests caused World War I because they were concerned about losing control of the marine economy if a tunnel under the Bering Strait was built. There's no doubt this is a conspiracy theory, but if it's true, it's outrageous. The story didn't end there. At the beginning of World War I, President Franklin Roosevelt directed the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to study the construction of a rail line connecting the lower 48, Canada, and Alaska. However, what would later become the more pressing need to construct the Alaskan Highway overshadowed this undertaking. Under the Governor Palin's government in 2009, certain viability and economic studies were conducted. This was ideally for energy and fresh water to drought-stricken areas, as well as rail transit to a Bering Strait tunnel. Shockingly, all of the plans were abandoned when the projected cost reached $3 billion. Despite the enormous costs and unpredictability of these types of initiatives, along with political obstacles, only a few megaprojects have been completed. TEPR may have an even harder time offering ground transportation today compared to flying. These kinds of megaprojects are proposed, discussed, and then efforts are made to complete them despite these issues and concerns. Various countries involved in megaprojects receive a lot of economic benefits and returns. In terms of this massive superhighway connecting Russia with America, several phenomenal returns can be expected. As well as Arctic gas and oil production, new embedded delivery lines will provide major benefits. Yakunin, the Russian railways chief, said the TEPR would include pipelines for oil and gas, helping boost the nation's energy revenues. Additionally, it will lead to the creation of hundreds of thousands of new jobs and the development of new sectors. Russia has indeed begun building a railroad in its Far East with the intention of expanding energy industries in its remote regions, regardless of whether the Bering Strait tunnel is built or not. Currently, China and Russia are building a high-speed railway connecting their major cities via Siberia, a project financed primarily by the state-owned China Railway High-Speed Company. The direct link between Beijing and Moscow will be around 7,000 kilometers, 4,340 miles, which is roughly 3 times the length of the world's longest high-speed train, the Beijing-Guangzhou. The cost of this megaproject is expected to be billions, if not trillions. Yakunin warns that enormous economic rewards may more than offset the significant cash cost, which was also not specifically discussed in the paper. Well, we'll have to wait and see if that actually happens. Yakunin and Russian President Vladimir Putin are good friends, in case you didn't know that. They have been in touch and have a lot to discuss with each other, particularly with regard to strategic projects. No exception applies to this superhighway megaproject. Interestingly, if we take into account some of the top sources, Yakunin may be Putin's probable replacement as president. Yakunin therefore has the necessary information to manage the costs of such a massive highway megaproject. One of the greatest infrastructure megaprojects of all time will be the Bering Strait Tunnel, which appears almost miraculous. At this point, the Bering Strait Tunnel is no doubt a fantasy proposal like the space elevator, another story we will discuss later. There's a good chance this megaproject won't be a good use of American resources. The real thrust of the project is largely fueled by private companies' investments in the gas and oil industries, despite the hype. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section. It is more of a private network connecting the vested interests of a select few powerful people and figures. That was all for today's video. You can share with us your views in the comment section. And if you are new to the channel, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any future videos we upload. Thank you for watching the video. Best of luck and goodbye.